Alaba considers his future. Football is set to return. AC Milan plan to spend big. A transfer roundup and today's Thursday favourites all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host Matt Froelich, you are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. First off, David Alaba has reportedly considered his future at Bayern Munich. Now, in the last few years, there has always been rumours that if he were to leave the club where he's been relatively happy, it would only be for Barcelona or for Real Madrid. But according to latest reports, Inter Milan are also interested because, well, of course they are. They seem to be buying absolutely everybody. Now, there's not necessarily concrete information that Alaba wants to leave the club, but his contract is expiring next summer, and I think it's fair to say that he has a lot more competition for places should Bayern Munich have a fully fit squad. He's covered brilliantly at left back and centre back for the last 2 seasons, So let's say Bayern have all of their centre-backs fit. Nicolas Süle, Lucas Hernandez, Benjamin Pavard. Heck, maybe they even sign another one after selling Jerome Boateng. Alaba's probably not going to get in there, so you're looking at left-back. But then at left-back, Hernandez can also play there. Obviously not if he's playing centre-back. But Alphonso Davies has been such an unbelievable breakthrough star that it seems kind of inconceivable that he'll be sitting on the bench for the next few years. And there's no way, if Bayern Munich go ahead and sign Leroy Sané, they've obviously got Gnabry and Coman as well, that Alaba's going to be in a further forward position on the left anyway, so maybe his position is under threat. Of course, you could say, why don't Bayern just keep him and Davis and switch them at left back? Of course, that would be ideal for any club to have 2 brilliant left back options, but neither player is going to want to sit on the bench. Davis has had a breakthrough year, and he knows that he's going to go from strength to strength by playing, and David Alaba is not going to accept that, and definitely after his career, not going to sit on the bench. He's only 27. So there's pretty much loads of clubs who would want to take him if they can afford the fee. Alaba is a brilliant player on the ball, can play in multiple positions, and I can't see a squad, certainly a first team in Europe, that he wouldn't be improving if he went there. But talking of German football, and Alaba will be back with Bayern Munich and the Bundesliga, as finally the Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, has said that German football can return. This is set to happen next Friday on the 15th of May. At the moment, around 1,700 tests have been done on loads of players and staff alike in the first and second division of German football, with only 10 coming back with a positive result. Now, of course, if this gets any worse, they will have to take further measures, but there are being loads of measures being taken in the first place. Games will be behind closed doors, clubs will have to keep all of their squad at safe social distancing, and on top of all this, there will be testing throughout the remainder of the season. At the moment, Bayern Munich are 4 points ahead of second place Dortmund, and although things are going to be a little bit different, there will be games without fans, and obviously there's such a global pandemic and lots of worry going on at the moment. I still can't see anything stopping Bayern Munich from claiming yet another Bundesliga title. If you guys can, let me know why in the comments section below. But moving on to some more transfer news, this time from Serie A. No, it's not Inter Milan, but it is their crosstown rivals, AC Milan. For some reason, they seem to be a sleeping giant at the moment. They often have really good players, but just can't put together the right run of form to take them into European football. In fact, they did it last season, but they gave up their place in the Europa League for this campaign. Apparently, 2 men who they're willing to bring in is, first off, Luka Jovic from Real Madrid, and second off, Memphis Depay. Now, we'll get to the Depay bit in a minute. Luka Jovic, obviously, it has worked out for him at Real Madrid since moving from Eintracht Frankfurt last summer. They paid 60 million for him. Apparently, AC Milan are willing to pay 40. Now, for a player who's completely and utterly flopped, that's a pretty good deal for Real Madrid to get, at least 2/3 of the transfer fee back. As with AC Milan, I'm not so sure what's going on in their attack. They signed Piontek and everyone was like, brilliant, scored a load of goals, and then it didn't quite happen, so they shipped him off to Hertha Berlin only 1 year later. Whatever the reason, same kind of thing with Rafael Leao actually. Whatever the reason, they'll be hoping that Jovic can find a home, enjoy his football and score a bag load of goals. But alongside this, there's also rumours that 20 million is enough to bring Memphis Depay to the club. Now, this is because Depay is out of contract in 2021, and I don't know about you guys, but he's been pretty spectacular at Lyon. He was pretty great at PSV as well. Obviously, not so good at that 1 year at Manchester United in between. But if someone like him, although he's been injured, is available for 20 million, aren't there other clubs circling? Like, there were rumours that Man United were going to bring him back. Maybe that was just fantasy. He's been linked with quite a few clubs in the last few years, so to think that he's available for just 20 million, AC Milan can just walk in there, give over 20 mil, come back to Italy with a player of Memphis Depay's quality seems highly unlikely. Maybe we should alert other clubs. Anyway, if AC manage to get both strikers in, I actually think that'll be a bit of a force. Although, like I said, we've said that every time they've had a few good players and it's just not worked out. So next up, in a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, Palmeiras president Cicero Sousa said they may have to sell Arsenal target Gabriel Veron, although he's not sure which club could afford him. Dries Mertens' contract talks with Napoli have stalled yet again, alerting the likes of Dortmund and Chelsea. Manchester City are willing to pay 32 million euros for Marseille's French defender Boubacar Kamara. And lastly but not least, Southampton, Liverpool and RB Leipzig are all in a three-way race for Milo Rashica, the Werder Bremen forward who's out of contract in June. So lastly but not least, we'll come to this week's Thursday favourites, where you guys asked me a question about my 5 favourite whatever. Something in football. This week comes from Scarred Hunt, who said, Matt, what are your 5 favourite exports from South America? Now, obviously, there are so many to pick from, and you could probably kind of guess who's going to be number 1. But anyway, this is my 5 favourite. You guys let me know who's in yours in the comments section. So let's begin. First off, Papu Gomez moved to Europe to Catania, then with 1 year in Ukraine, came back to Serie A and has become an absolute legend at Atalanta. I mean, he's captained them into the top 4 in Serie A and into the Champions League as well. And actually, they're still waiting to find out who they're going to be facing in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. His and their story is an unbelievable one, and he's just a delight to watch. Second on the list, and Edison Cavani. There's really not much to dislike about the forward. He's got absolutely everything you need and has been banging in the goals for PSG. I mean, even before then, he was brilliant in Serie A as well, but he is now the French champions' leading goal scorer of all time, overtaking Zlatan Ibrahimovic with a ridiculous amount of goals, great work rate, brilliant finishing, heading, absolutely everything. I just think he's a wonderful striker. Number 3 on the list, and he'd be a little bit higher if it wasn't for so much play acting, it's Neymar. I constantly say I think he's the second most talented footballer in the world behind Lionel Messi. Yes, Ronaldo is probably better, but Neymar has more talent, more God-given individual talent than Cristiano Ronaldo does. The things he can do are just absolutely unbelievable. As I say, seconded only by Messi. Anyway, when Neymar isn't pissing about, when he's not diving, when he's not injured, when he's not doing all sorts outside the footballing pitch, when he's on the pitch playing well like he has for PSG this season, he's just unbelievable. It's an absolute joy to watch, and yeah, I just really wish he was at my club. Now, moving on from those daydreams and to number 2, that is Javier Zanetti, an absolute hero to Inter Milan. He was there for like 18 or 19 seasons, played an incredible number of games, and really was just basically everything you wouldn't necessarily expect from a South American footballer. When you think of like an Argentinian or Brazilian footballer, it's all about flair and trickery and scoring goals, and Zanetti wasn't really any of that. Don't get me wrong, he could find the back of the net, but he was an industrious, brilliant, hard-working player who could play in several positions, did incredible defensive work, a brilliant leader, a fantastic captain, and I got to see him play live in the Champions League, which was just all the more better. So with that said and done, finally we come to number 1, and it's Marcos Rojo. No, of course it's not. It's Lionel Messi. Wow, imagine if it actually was Rojo. Anyway, yeah, Messi just doing Messi things, being brilliant, and ever since he came over to Barcelona from Argentina, he has been wowing people ever since, and long may that continue. So there you have it, my 5 favourite players from South America in Europe. Now, they are my 5 favourite. Disagree all you want, but let me know yours in the comments section down below. And just a quick reminder for those of you who didn't know, no, Cristiano Ronaldo is not from South America. So there you have it. There's my 5. You guys let me know your thoughts on the daily news and everything else in the comments section below. Whilst you're at it, smash the like button and click here or here to check out loads of other videos we've got going on Onefootball. But until next time, I will see you guys later.